Oh,
Let's
hello, everyone.
go.
So much stuff is going
Okay,
on.
everyone stop talking. I'm going to completely cut this out of it. Hello, welcome to the Let's Talk podcast. This is our first episode, and today we're going to be talking about some questions that we got. Just kind of talking about what the podcast is and some things that we like about comic books. Okay.
Yeah, just random questions. You guys asked the questions. We forgot a few people's ats for the certain questions, but the ones we remembered, we listed.
Yeah.
So if you forgot your at, we're sorry.
Yeah. Let's all introduce ourselves. Archie, you go first.
Alright, I'm Archie. I run at L Rathaway and at LT Flashfam.
I'm Carnage or Carn, whatever. Like, you can call me Carnage. Basically, I run the at Let's Talk Carnage account.
My name is Andy. I run the at Let's Talk GR and the at Let's Talk Torch, which is actually Let's Talk Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
I'm Vince, and I run Invincible Let, which is an Invincible Let's Talk account.
I'm Lou, and I'm one of two people who run at Phoenix Let's Talk, which is basically just talking about Jean Grey.
Hi everyone, I'm Dodge. I run the Let's Venom account and just talk about all symbiote stuff.
Yeah, we're the Symbiote Brothers.
Okay, is it Dodge or Doge?
I always said Dodge.
I say Doge.
I always
Okay,
say
I've
We've all been saying it wrong.
been saying it wrong this whole time. I'm sorry.
No problem. I take it as whatever.
Alrighty.
Ow.
Okay. I'm gonna read off the questions and we can just answer them in that same order. First one that I have in the doc is, what's a genre you'd like to see more of in comics?
Horror.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah, that'd be cool
Yeah.
to see. I know the Venom book and Immortal Hulk are kind of pushing horror. I'm liking what they're doing with it, so yeah, that'd be more of that would be nice.
And DC's got a new horror line coming out. I think it's the
DC
Black.
Straight? Oh, the Black Label.
Yeah, Black Label. And that
Yeah.
looks like really fun.
The first Black Label comic was Batman Damn issue 1, which had an event around it. I'm pretty sure most people know what it is.
The Will Bat.
Alright,
Yeah,
any
so-
others? Horror?
Horror.
Can't think of much.
I guess romance would be good as well. It's been very action focused.
That was popular in like the
That's
50s,
true.
I believe. Like it'd be cool
Yeah.
to see some of that come back.
Romance would be good to
Yeah.
have, like romance books.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite story of your favorite character?
Okay.
So,
I
you
have
just go down the list. Archie
Archie
first.
can go first.
Yeah.
I really like the presidential race when the top comes back from the dead and tries to take over the country by taking over the guy currently running for vice president as a Republican. But he basically does it purely to come back and torture Piper. It's great.
And well, I'm Carnage.
Blue.
So this is before Absolute Carnage comes out, keep in mind, so my mind hasn't been changed by that. I'd say maybe it's a three-way tie between Maximum Carnage, which is the OG, the classic. I'll always love that story. Carnage Family Feud, which kind of like brought him back. And Carnage USA was also very good, like when he took over the city, Dover. Like he basically took over an entire city, infected them all with the symbiote. It was a pretty good story. One of my favorites.
Yeah, this is Ghost Rider. I kind of like Jason Aaron's entire run, where Ghost Rider has to like fight Doctor Strange and stuff. It's probably one of my favorite Ghost Rider fights of all time.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Wait, your turn. Invincible is like one story, but I guess my favorite arc is the Viltrumite War, which is like around issue 75-ish. Anyways.
Looking forward to that. I'm currently reading through Invincible.
Yeah.
Vince got me
About
hooked. Vince got me
Yes.
hooked. I'm addicted now.
Same here.
Yeah.
I've been reading comics for like a couple of months now, so I don't really know much, but I really do love the Phoenix Saga because it's just awesome.
I think my favorite at the moment is Venom from 2011, the Savage 6. back when Flash had to fight a villain of pretty much his own version of the Sinister Six. It was like the build up from the crime boss, and then him assembling a team of villains to go after him and his family.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nicely done.
Very good story. Read Venom 2011. That's another big symbiote book. Yeah. Basically, read everything symbiotes, but in particular, Venom 2011 is a good place to start.
Oh, definitely.
Well, except Venom the Madness. Venom the Madness is odd.
I kind of could. I guessed it was gonna be Venom 2011. I was like, I know which one's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
that's my favorite run.
Also, read Venom by Donny Cates. That's going on right now. So good.
Yes, it's excellent.
Alrighty. What musical artist or band encapsulates your Let's Talk character or topic best?
Ooh.
Wait, go ahead, Archie.
Cletus has two contrasting ones, but Archie can go first.
Alright, I really like the paper raincoat as a way to encapsulate Piper. They play so many damn instruments. It's really cool. And also they sing a lot about how music is I don't know, like comforting, which I think is something that really encapsulates him.
Cool, I'll have to listen to that song.
Nice.
Right. So Carnage, he's really with like heavy metal and stuff. Like he actually has a song made for him called "Carnage Rules" by Green Jelly. It's pretty good. It's almost like the character turned into a song. Yeah, Carnage is mostly like heavy metal, but he's also a Southerner, so he's also into like country music. I remember in Axis, he said his favorite song was like "Freebird" by Leonard Skinner. So he likes country and he likes heavy metal. So those are two of his favorites.
Nice.
I always envision Ghost Rider kind of riding out of hell to Mastodon, which is basically a hard rock band, which definitely suits him. Like all of them, actually, definitely suits all the Ghost Riders, just riding around. So yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I really thought there's a song called "Invincible" by OK Go, which is pretty much. It is like the exact. It fits perfectly.
I love that song.
It even
That's
has his
such a
name.
good song.
Yeah. The other one would be "Lions Inside" by Valley of Wolves. I don't know. Mark never gives up, and that song always kind of reminded me of him.
There's this song called "Little Boy" by I think it's Barnes Country. I don't know. I every time I listen to it, I think of June. So there's that.
Oh.
For me, I'll give two. One for Eddie, one for Flash. For Eddie, I think about the song "Cancer" by My Chemical Romance. That's the one. It really reminds me a lot of his time with cancer that he dealt with in the early 2000s. For Flash, I think about the song "Be Somebody" by Thousand Foot Crush, and that really fits his like development, like his whole like evolution from like war veteran to Venom.
Yeah, his evolution is incredible. I read the '60s Spider-Man comics and I'm like, it's crazy. This guy became Agent Venom. Like, I still can't believe that.
It's crazy.
Mind-boggling.
Alrighty.
I love it.
That was a good question. I don't know who this question was directed at, but do you think the Square Enix game will add the X-Men and the Fantastic Four as DLC?
I don't think so. Maybe it'll be referenced, but I'm not sure.
If the game is really successful, if it gets like a lot of people playing it, and they get lots of DLC support, I can see them adding them later on.
There could be some X-Men characters, maybe, but I don't know if the entire team or FF. But I do think that Spider-Man will be a PS4 exclusive DLC, since I hope they connect it to Insomniac's version.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Since they said there will be PS4 exclusive DLC, so I can't really think of anything else other than Spider-Man what it would be.
Oh boy, I'm stuck on Xbox.
We'll have to take turns for this one as well, but what was the first ever comic you read?
Ooh, okay.
Huh.
So, we'll go in order again.
Yeah.
So back when the Teen Titans show, the cartoon was still running, they had some tie-in comics, and I used to borrow those from my local library. And they'd be like in these tiny little magazines, and they were probably my first comics that weren't manga.
Ooh.
As for manga, Dragon Ball.
Yeah, love Dragon Ball.
Nice.
My first comics were, I got two together, but the first one I read, I'll consider this my first comic. It was Spectacular Spider-Man 201, which is either part 5 or part 6 of Maximum Carnage. So, and then my second comic was Web of Spider-Man 102, which was the next part of Maximum Carnage. So, Carnage is my first ever comic. My dad got it for me because I was really into Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, all the symbiote stuff. Because I saw Spider-Man 3, and then I saw the animated series with Venom, and then the ones with Carnage. So yeah, he saw that I liked it. And he was working near a comic store one day, and he just walked in. He caught some cool looking comics for me, and then he brought them home to me. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
I would say that my first superhero comic was Batman Year One, but my first comic was Calvin and Hobbes. I used to read that as
Aww.
a kid, and that was really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. I read a lot of web comics as a teenager, and I also sometimes read Archie comics when they were sold at my grocery store, just like flipping through them. First like superhero comic was Spider-Man Blue.
Nice. That's a great comic.
That's a
Yeah.
really good one.
It's also an emotional one. So
Yeah. Okay, Lou.
I was at a relative's house and they had this Hawkeye comic, and I had never read comics in my life, so I just flipped through it, and the art style was really nice, so I just got into comics after that.
Aw,
Nice.
nice.
My very first comic actually got inherited from my dad's collection. He got a lot of comics from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I was looking through, and the very first comic I ever picked up was Amazing Spider-Man 332. And it was just my first introduction to like superheroes in general, just a kid. And what struck out at me was the cover of just like all I saw was Spider-Man. It was from pretty much from Spider-Man's first point of view. You saw his hands up in like he was scared or something, and Venom just running right at him straight up. That was my first introduction to both Venom and like superheroes in general.
Okay, this next question is kind of like similar, so we might like be able to go through it quickly. But it's what got you into comics in the first place?
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of manga, I just liked reading ahead when I was watching anime.
Fair.
But I also really liked drawing even before then, so I really liked copying the art. And then to get into Western comics, it was actually Josh, who's Let's Talk Tim Drake. He sort of started me on reading Flash comics in, I think, 2010, around that period.
Ooh,
cool.
remember that era?
I got into comics from like the Spider-Man, the original trilogy by Sam Raimi. That was my main introduction. Like the Spider-Man movies and the shows, Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Man the animated series. So those three were my main introduction to comics. I just basically loved a bunch of Spider-Man symbiote media. It wasn't until like 2010 I started getting comics regularly. Actually, maybe 2012 actually. But yeah, that was when I first started regularly getting comics, and it was thanks to like Spider-Man movies, shows, and games and stuff like that.
I started. I think I read Calvin and Hobbes for like maybe 5 years, and then when I was in third grade, I read Batman Year One and just wanted to read more. So like ever since then, it's been just reading more for me.
Same as Karn for me. I like watched the Sam Raimi movies and Spectacular Spider-Man. I would also add on that I also like saw the X-Men movies first, and I really liked those.
Yeah.
Mine was just purely curiosity. I wanted to get in comics for a while, but there's just so much and it's so confusing. So eventually I did jump into it, but
For me, after I read my first comic, I pretty much just kept on reading the box that my dad had of comics, and like a lot of the issues were like completed arcs, but some weren't. So I just like imagined what happened in between. And then eventually, I watched the Sam Raimi movies also, and that also pushed my love for Spider-Man, along with the '90s animated series. I saw a lot on. They were playing on Jetix at the time, the pretty much a channel before Disney XD at the moment.
Nice. Okay, this one is for Dodge. Where does Doge's nickname come from?
It comes from the dog meme and my love for dogs because they're adorable.
Yeah, dogs are the
Yeah,
best.
that's fair. That's fair.
Dogs are the best.
That's a secret origin.
Yeah, most of us have dogs, right?
I can't remember who asked that one, but I love that question.
He was bit by a radioactive dog, and he had to basically change his name to Doge.
I had to. I just had to.
Okay, this is one I really like. It literally just got asked like a few hours ago. But do you have any positive, unpopular opinions? As in, is there anything that most people don't like that you find yourself appreciating or even loving? And that's from Mr. Michael Patton.
Ooh,
I think what
Interesting.
I have
it
a
may,
really controversial one.
okay,
Go
let's
for it.
hear it.
52 Flash. New 52 Flash is really good. And
Yeah,
the friendship between Piper and Barry is amazing, and
I also
everyone hates it.
like it.
I've been meaning to read New 52 Flash. I only got around to reading the first volume. I really need to read the rest of it.
Definitely recommend.
Well, another controversial one I have is I love the Venom movie. I honestly think it's good. Not even just so bad it's a good way. I honestly think it's good. So yeah, I honestly enjoy it. I really like it. So I'm actually looking forward to Venom 2 more than any other comic movie. So I'm sorry if you all hate me now, but yeah.
No.
No, I really liked Venom, so.
Same.
I think my biggest hot take, especially, I tweeted about this earlier, that most people think that Thor is a title, but I think it's the name of the guy. So as I like asked around, I asked some of my friends, they said that it's a title. So I guess that's my most controversial opinion.
Well, I mean, it's on the hammer. It says the power of Thor. So it's like not saying you
I know.
become Thor. It's the power of Thor. So I can see what you mean.
That's lifting Mjolnir gives you Thor. They're two different things. So yeah, and Beta Ray Bill wasn't called Thor. It's called Beta Ray Bill. So I don't know. That's what I think.
I don't know. I'm pretty basic. I guess please don't hate me. I kind of like Emma Frost more than Jean, though I like them both. I guess
Hard agree.
Wow.
I do like them both though. I love my telepath.
Telepathic mutants.
We can all agree that Xavier sucks though.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
Well,
Lou,
movie
go ahead.
Xavier's good, but
Don't hit
comic
me.
Xavier not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any. I don't think I have any yet. Emphasis on yet.
I mean, that's a good thing, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Along with Karn, I also thought I really liked the Venom movie. I just thought it was really good. Personally, loved it. Another thing's something else. Might get me in hot water with some people. I really like. I think Flash and Venom are like the best bond that Venom's had. With
I love them both. But I really like Flash Venom too. Don't get me wrong, but my favorite is personally kind of Eddie, probably because of what I'm used to. But I also love Flash Venom. Their relationship's very good. Why don't we just get them both? Best of both worlds. Asian Venom series.
Yeah, I definitely want that.
So I think we're on to the next question now, right?
Yeah, I have two from Pete Spidey Talk, who is my fellow Let's Talker for Spider-Man. The first one is, why are we Let's Talk? And when did you start liking comic books? So the second one we can skip because we kind of
answered that already.
Yeah, why are we Let's Talk? Like, I'm guessing like the title. I don't know. We're basic. We're not really creative.
I just saw other people called Let's Talk, and I'm like, okay, I'm a Let's Talk now.
Yeah.
I guess the origin will never be known. I just know something about an original Let's Talk Captain Marvel, but that was like way before I joined, so I'm not 100% sure how that works.
Well, he was the first, I believe.
He was the null of the Let's Talkers.
In the beginning.
In the beginning, there was nothing. Then there was the first.
The first Let's Talker.
Oh god, here we go. I have some questions from Green, who is also listening right now, just on mute.
Okay.
Hello,
Our
At
manager.
Damie Wayne Talk if you want to follow them, but
Yeah,
okay,
dude, please.
first one is,
We should follow them.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, you should.
why are you so old? Why are you all ancient? And then but really
Well, Einstein said time was relative, so maybe we're not old. Maybe he's just young.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer all three of those with
baby.
with one with one like sentence. Do you actually know how old any of us are, Green? Like, okay, we're getting a response.
You know how old Steve is?
Yes, you do. I'm not 40. I'll tell you that much.
Steve, to the day, is 2 years older than me. Right to the
Here,
day.
guess again. Guess again. Guess again.
Okay, there are some serious questions that he asked.
Yeah.
But really, favorite color scheme on a character and favorite Elseworld. So
Kind of biased,
Ooh.
but I love red and black or red and blue. I love my reds. Red and black, red and blue are my two favorites.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
definitely biased to green.
yeah,
I don't know why. I don't even like the color green, but
But Hartley has it.
exactly.
I like anything. I like anything with blue in it, and I also like black and gold.
Oh
That's
yes.
a nice combo as well. I think black goes good with pretty much almost everything. So
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone got any?
For me, black and
also
whites
favorite.
as a great color scheme, and
Yeah, Venom.
but my all-time favorite one is definitely red and black, and that's what made me really like the Thunderbolts variant of Agent Venom. He had the black
That was
logo.
so good. That was so good. It's almost like also Null Venom as well. Like Null,
Yes, yes.
the Primordial symbiote is
I
also
love
red and
that.
black.
It's perfect.
I do also gravitate towards purple.
Ooh, I love
Green and
purple.
purple. It's like a Hulk or a
Just
Green
purple in
Goblin.
general.
Oh,
Wonder
okay.
Twins and Tornado Twins. Just
So that's-
purple.
one of my favorite
What
purple
the
characters
fuck?
is like the Ultimate Symbiote. Like the way it looked, it was so nice. Ultimate Symbiote,
Oh
Spider-Man,
yeah,
Ultimate Venom.
he
The
was
story
really
may have
cool.
been not the greatest compared to other Venom stories, but the artwork was beautiful. Mark Bagley's a master.
Definitely.
He's awesome.
What was Green's
Okay.
next question?
It was favorite Elseworld.
Okay, now I gotta think about. I have to actually think about that one.
Does Flashpoint count as an Elseworld?
I'd say it does. If you're talking about the timeline that Barry created, then I'd say it's an Elseworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of any. Do the movie universes and or the anime shows, movie universes, do they count?
I mean, wasn't there one where Damien becomes Batman
Yeah, Herb
like
666.
permanently? Yeah, and that one was interesting.
The one where Venom became the Punisher was also pretty bad. It's might be my favorite What If or
I
acceptance.
remember that one.
Yeah, I love that one. There was also one. Yeah. So if we're going purely What Ifs, I really like the Punisher Venom one. That one was really nice.
I like if Doctor Doom became a hero.
Yeah. I kind of want to say Ultimate Universe just for Ultimate Spider-Man because the rest of the Ultimate Marvel can just be forgotten about. But Spider-Man was good. But the rest was, well, this is a family show, so I don't even know if we could talk about certain things. Well, is it even a family show? I don't even
It's
know.
best for it's best
Yeah, we're
forgotten.
gonna stretch the boundaries, I'd say.
Best forgotten. Nope. The only Ultimate title was Ultimate Spider-Man. There was nothing else.
I think my favorite
I don't think it's a
Elseworlds-
family show, no. It's a whatever show, I guess. We'll decide after we're done recording, I suppose.
Exactly.
I'm gonna move on. Could I join if I named myself Let's Talk Luigi? And I just thought that would be a good opportunity to talk about what makes someone a Let's Talk account.
Here's how you make a Let's Talk account. It's a very complicated process to listen. Step 1, choose a character to talk about. Step 2, make an account. It's hard, I know, but yeah.
Step 3, don't talk about them at all and literally do anything else.
Yeah. Literally anybody can join us. It's not that hard. Yeah, it's like I think it's a bit of a misconception, but we don't know anybody each other in real life except for like a few different specific examples. Like I haven't met anybody here in real life.
I've met
Neither have I.
Josh. And Josh and I have been friends for ages. And I'm the one who sort of got him to make the account finally.
Yes.
Aww.
I'm glad you did. He's great.
He is great.
Josh is Let's Talk Tim Drake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. He's really cool.
Oh, I love him. He's reading Invincible
I would
and
highly
Nature.
recommend his friendship.
Yes.
Okay. This one's was directed at Carnage, but
Ooh.
which might be able to help. It's from @DragonSlayer789, and it's, hey, so I'm wondering, what is the reading order to Absolute Carnage? Because I see there are a lot of tie-ins, and it's really confusing me. I'm a noob at this.
Okay.
Please explain.
So, alright, the symbiote bros have to take this over. Okay, so
It's
basically, if we're talking about, I think you're talking about reading the actual event itself. If you're going by single issues, I just buy them like in the order they come out. Like there's a checklist online that has them all listed in order. So I'll probably maybe read like Absolute Carnage 1, all the tie-ins for issue 1, all the tie-ins that are issue 1, like my Absolute Carnage Miles 1, Lethal Protectors 1, and so on.
Yeah.
Then I go maybe Absolute Carnage 2 after you read that, then read all the number 2 tie-ins,
And
then
so
the number
on.
3 tie-ins and stuff like that. Yeah.
Some events usually have like a checklist at the end of the issue or something like that.
Yeah,
So
just follow the checklist.
Mhm.
I think I've posted it on my page in the past, but maybe I'll post it again. It's in the Marvel
Yeah.
Previews book, I think. So yeah, just follow
Marvel
the
had one.
checklist.
Yeah, Marvel had one for War of the Realms, so I'm sure they'll have one for this one.
Yeah, or you can just buy them as they come out, like according to release date. So yeah, that works too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about reading up to the event, the bare minimum to read the event itself is Venom 2018 1 to 16, Web of Venom, and all the Web of Venom issues.
Yep.
So yeah.
And that should be enough to catch you up.
Yeah, but I recommend going deeper. Both Doge and I have symbiote reading threads. Mine's more specifically Carnage, but he's more specifically Venom. Yeah, if you want to read more symbiotes, I recommend giving those threads a go.
Definitely.
Can there be more than one Let's Talker on the same character? I've only seen this happen on a few occasions and wanted to know what your take was, and that's from the Eye of Elysium.
Okay, this is how it works, though. If somebody else wants to do a Let's Talk account that already exists, the two of them have to fight in a battle of the death in the middle of an arena, and the winner claims the title.
It's like the Let's Talk Hunger Games.
Let's talk Hunger Games.
I've had a few people challenge me for the title of Carnage, but yeah, I kind of just not around anymore to talk about it. I'm just kidding. You can, yeah. There's no restrictions on making another account. Like you can make another account of a certain character if you'd like.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to win, please.
Yeah, you
like
can
we
totally
have,
make more than
like we have,
one
I think
of the
four
same account.
Spider-Mans. I think we have like 4 or 5
Yeah.
Spider-Mans, I believe.
Spider-Man definitely has the most.
Yeah.
And there are a bunch of Flash accounts as well.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So also, we'd appreciate more symbiote accounts joining. Like I think there's still a few that aren't there. Like Anti-Venom's a big one. Hybrid's another cool one. So yeah.
I'd really love another Flash Rogue.
Yes.
Omni-Men.
Alrighty.
I still can't get that line about his mustache out of his head, the one that talks and said he wants to cuddle up in his mustache and be read a bedtime story.
Moving on! Alright. Who are your favorite writers working today? And that's from Patrick at @mast_menace.
Ooh.
We're gonna go in order. We're going in order. Archie first.
Let's start with the amazing
Alright.
Archie.
There are 3 that I love at the moment. Tom Taylor, Mark Russell, and oh my god, what's his name? Joshua Williamson. Tom Taylor just really gets team dynamics. I think Mark Russell has a really good approach to writing, especially for kids. And then Joshua Williamson has plans to bring back Piper, and that is the most important thing in my life.
Well, my favorite writers, the one who's writing my favorite series right now is Donny Cates, aka Dark Lord Donny. So he's awesome. Like all his titles are awesome. He does a good job of connecting stuff. And I just love where he's going with Venom, Carnage, everything in general. Like his series is honestly super good. Another one I really like is Chip Zdarsky. Like his Spider-Man life story is so good right now. I also really liked his Spectacular Spider-Man run, and yeah, he's a great writer as well.
I like Matt Fraction because he kind of brought back Iron Fist from being a trash character. I also like Jason Aaron because of the entire Ghost Rider thing that he did. That was really cool. So those are probably my top 2.
Sweet. Right now, I like Nick Spencer's Amazing Spider-Man run, and I like Kirkman is writing Oblivion's on right now, and that's really good.
Not to interrupt, but I also love Nick Spencer's Spider-Man run. I meant to say him as well, but yeah.
Yes.
Not to steal from Vince, but yeah.
Lou?
I again haven't read enough comics, but Tom Taylor has written some of my favorites. So yeah.
Read Venom 2018.
At least I
I'll
can
add that
read
to
my
my
22.
never-ending list.
Dread it, run from it. Venom arrives the same. Well, actually, it should be Carnage since he's the one targeting everybody, but yeah, sorry about that.
Nice. I think my favorite at the moment are Donny Cates. He's currently writing a lot of stuff for Marvel at the moment. I would say Cullen Bunn's another one.
Yeah,
really
he's great as well.
What got to be one of my favorites was his second half of Venom 2011.
Yeah.
And he also wrote really good stuff with Venomverse, Poison X, and Venomized.
Yeah, Helen
And
Bunn's another one of symbiote royalty. So sorry to interrupt.
definitely,
Sorry, my bad.
I
My
know,
bad. Sorry.
no problem. And my third would be Tom Taylor. Also, love his work a ton. Always buy a book with his name on it.
Nice. Alrighty, here's a question for Doge. I'm just gonna keep calling you Doge.
That's fine, no problem.
Um, what inspired you to make the Let's Talk account for Venom? And that's from DPS Cookie Monster.
Oh, alrighty. What inspired me is like I followed a lot of Let's Talkers on my personal for quite a while, and my biggest inspirations to make the account were, at the time, Let's Talk Black Canary, which is Joe, and now he's Daily Canary, and Let's Talk Roy Harper. They inspired me, and I just saw the Venom movie too. Like that was like a perfect opportunity, just like to make an account. It was actually like midnight when I was like trying to get to sleep, contemplating making it, and just decided to make it that midnight. And that's history.
Yeah. And,
That's awesome.
yeah. And now the world's better because Doge made the account.
Yes.
He actually inspired me to make my account Doge too. So yeah, it's crazy. It's like we always inspire the next account. Since I remember a few accounts that I inspired them, and that's like I'm just some guy who writes about carnage on his phone. How can I inspire somebody? But it's crazy. We inspire each other.
It's great though. It's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I have another two questions for Doge. Though one of them Carnage might be able to help with. One of them's from @Wimbo Animation, and it's who is your second favorite symbiote?
My second favorite symbiote. It tends to switch a lot, but I'm gonna give a really basic answer. I'm probably gonna say Carnage.
I'm proud of you.
It's a really cool symbiote. I really like Carnage.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to know who my second favorite symbiote is?
Oh,
Sure.
who's that?
Venom.
Symbiote
Honestly, it is though. Venom and Carnage are my favorite.
Symbiote solidarity.
But just to spice things
Symbiote
up,
solidarity.
let's see who our third one is, just to see if it's different, just to spice things up.
my third one probably Anti-Venom.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
That's Anti-Venom. That's kidding.
Yeah.
Trio.
Yeah. And then the next ones for me are Toxin, Scream, and Hybrid. Those I can't decide which ones I like most out of those, but yeah.
Love those goopies.
I haven't heard anyone say Agony. Like, I haven't.
Agony is part of Hybrid, but yeah, Agony is cool.
Technically, yeah.
The Life
Agony is
Foundation
great.
symbiotes, they need more attention. Hopefully they get it in the Absolute
Definitely.
Carnage. They're getting a mini-series called Separation Anxiety. Not to be confused with the 90s one, though, but yeah, I can't wait for that as well. I can't wait for all of Absolute Carnage.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody here is buying 1 million copies because we have to. So yeah.
To get to over 10 million.
Yeah, but if you're on a budget, I think a good 10,000 copies will do just fine.
There goes my wallet. There goes my savings.
I don't need money, I need Carnage.
Okay.
Don't we all need Carnage. Carnage makes the world go around. Okay.
I'm seeing someone edit the Google Doc right now. Whoever you are, go away. Don't distract us.
Green, is it you, Green, or Spider?
By the way,
Like, since they're listening.
when you were whispering Carnage, I'm just gonna put the Carnage ASMR over it.
Oh, don't you dare! Don't play that, please.
Let's not play that.
Somebody sent me that as a joke, and I'm like, wait, why does this exist?
Oh, yeah, no.
Who thought this was a good
the
idea?
one where you're saying like, let's anger the account owner.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, you
That
said
was
that
totally
one.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the next question get edited out?
No, they just added one. It's got Summers at bottom, yes or yes. We're not answering that on the air. Okay, I got two questions that were asked, replies to Kane. Let's Talk Kane isn't here right now, but maybe we'll get him on later.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Hopefully he can join at some point.
True.
I love him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Anyways, the first one is: have you ever cried at a movie? If so, which one broke you first?
Oh god, mine's kind of embarrassing.
Okay, Archie first. Archie first.
I can't remember the first one I cried at. I think it might have actually been the first Harry Potter movie. I went to see it in a cinema, and I was so scared that I ran out crying. I was like 4.5.
Okay.
The first one that I
Archie.
legitimately cried at is like Juno.
Okay. I don't know if I want it. Yeah, I'll say it. Whatever. Okay. Mine wasn't like one of those emotional movies. It was actually the Transformers movie where Optimus Prime dies. I was in the theater.
Optimus.
Transformers: The Revenge of the Fallen. When it was my first time seeing a Transformers movie in theaters, like he died, and I started crying, and I think I was annoying everybody in the theater. So my dad, he's like, you know those books they released for the movie, and it kind of shows the ending, but nobody cares. Then my dad was like, remember in the book, Optimus comes back and saves everybody. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, and I stopped crying.
That's all good.
So, yeah, I was crying in a theater because Optimus Prime died. So yeah,
Aw.
that's kind of like an unusual one, but it's true. So I can't make it
Oh.
up. So yeah.
Wholesome.
I don't think
Very
I've
wholesome.
tried it in a movie before, but definitely recently when I was doing my first playthrough of God of War, I started crying because of Kratos. That made me really sad. It was sad. Good game though.
I cry at movies really easily, so I don't really know which was the first one. But Homeward Bound always makes me cry every time. Any dog movie.
Why
Any
do they have to
Oh, yeah,
come
that's
to
true.
Transformers? Like I don't care if a person dies, but I care if CGI robots die and dogs die. Okay, that's too far.
Exactly.
You don't hurt the dog.
You don't hurt the dog. Take me instead, please.
Exactly.
I can't remember my first one. I do remember being terrified of the Christmas Carol movie that came out in 2009 because I was a
Yeah.
child.
I
It was in
hated
the
that
cinema.
one.
Yeah, so this is either
Terrifying.
being sad because of emotion or sad because of you're scared. So,
And it was it was at the end. I cried because I was terrified. This like huge black
Yeah.
hole towards the screen. I was a child and I was just like, nope.
Let's see. I remember one when I was younger, one when I was kind of a couple years later. The first one I ever cried in was Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith because everyone was dying. I was like, wow, look at these good guys getting eliminated by the clones. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's sad seeing the heroes die when you're young.
I cry every time.
Yeah.
It also reminds me, yeah.
Every time I watch, I'm like, maybe it'll be different this time. Maybe it'll be different this time.
Remember. Yeah, also it's like another one I cried for. It's the same Optimus Prime. He dies a lot. If you know Transformers, he dies a lot. But yeah, I remember in the original, like the animated movie, they're killing all the Autobots, like Ratchet, Ironhide. They died, like in the animated movie. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love these guys. Why do they have to die? And then for Optimus dying again was like, I can't do this. So that movie's good though. So yeah.
Another movie I cried in was in Tangled when I first saw it in theaters.
Oh.
Another one. So many years
I mean,
ago, but yeah, that's another one.
I guess Finding Nemo. I think I cried at that one when I was a kid. I remember that actually now.
Which one's the Toy Story movie where they nearly all die? That one got me.
Toy Story 3?
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
3. Yeah, it was
I-
3. It was 3, I think. I still
Yeah.
have to see number 4. I haven't seen 4 yet. I just
Neither have I.
I haven't either. I've been told it's really creepy for some reason.
I'm told it's a good ending for Woody. That's what I'm told mostly.
Oh.
Like he's the main focus.
Uh-oh.
Like a proper ending for his character. Please no death. Please no death.
Alrighty.
Question?
The other question from the same person, who is, I forgot to mention, at Hugh Big Boy Hugh 22, is Marvel Spider-Man 2, like the video game, or Spider-Man 2 remaster?
Marvel Spider-Man 2 if they don't make Harry Osborn Venom.
Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Obviously.
Yeah, but even if they do make Harry Venom, I still want that. Because Spider-Man 2 is good, but I think we need another, like, more new games.
Yeah.
I'd love an Ultimate Spider-Man remaster, though.
Yeah.
Or What Shadows remaster.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is fun and all, but like, I'm not losing sleep over it being remade.
They should just make the pizza mode again. You just deliver pizzas.
It's an app you can get.
Yeah, pizza time. The pizza time. You have to beat your pizza time. You have to make sure it's pizza time.
Can we use like the pizza time music as our intro?
No, make the pizza theme our intro, and have it say, "You're late." I'm not paying for those. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk Mr. Aziz. Why doesn't that exist? Or let's talk Mr. Ditkovich. Please make those if you want to.
Alrighty. Moving on. What is the best? Okay, this was Let's Talk Cyclops, Chris, fellow Let's Talker, who isn't here with us right now, but maybe later. He said, what is the best and worst thing that has happened to your favorite character? So we'll go one by one again.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
I think I know what
Okay.
Doge's is. I think I know what Doge's is.
Oh, I got this one.
All right. I'll wait. You
Archie,
guys go.
Archie first. Archie first.
Best thing is probably his friendship with Wally, and I'm gonna leave that. The worst thing is definitely being framed for murdering his parents and having the false memories implanted in his mind, so he saw his parents be murdered.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And then that kept coming back to haunt him every time he got accused of murder. Every time he got framed of murder.
Oh, poor Harvey. Okay, now mine. Is it worse in terms of plot-wise, or worse in terms of things happening? Since Cletus really doesn't care if bad stuff happens to him, but that's maybe the best thing. That's actually a tough one. Like, I like when you had the whole Carnage family and Maximum Carnage. That was cool. I like that a lot. Or when he came back and he took over Dover and you say that was just seeing the symbiote have so much biomass, like he took over all the Avengers and made them fight Spider-Man. That was pretty badass. I also love the whole Maximum Carnage thing, how they basically just put the whole city into chaos. Carnage and the Carnage family. Worst thing? Maybe when he accidentally put Shriek in a coma against Deadpool vs. Carnage. Or how he got killed, and I think Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again, since that was pretty rough. It's an all world, but yeah, he got killed pretty bad, but he's a serial killer though, so...
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean,
those...
I guess the best thing would be that he hunts down sinners and makes them pay. I know that's kind of like simple, but that's probably the best thing he does. And the worst thing he's done is probably beat up Doctor Strange. That was pretty bad.
Oh God.
I think he's penance-stared the wrong person on multiple occasions. Oh, actually, there's this one time that he penance-stared an innocent, and it was really awkward to read. That's the worst thing he's done. He just penance-stared an innocent by accident.
An idiot. I remember he penance-stared Deadpool once, and he's like,
oh yeah,
that was pretty interesting.
All right.
Next is Lou, I believe.
Oh no.
Next Vince. Sorry, Vince. It's Vince.
Okay. The best thing that happened to Mark was him having his daughter. He said as much, like, you're the best thing that ever happened to me.
Aww.
The worst thing was him probably being raped. Spoilers. I mean, everyone knows what happened.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Moving on.
Next up is Lou.
Best thing, I think it's just the whole family she's built up with the X-Men. And
oh yeah.
Just all of them. It's just, that's probably, I think, what's the best thing. Worst, I don't know. There is a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe when she had a star as a snack,
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Alrighty. The best thing I'll say for Flash is maybe finally getting to be a superhero. That's something he always wanted since he wanted when he was like a high schooler. He was looking up to Spider-Man, and then he finally got his chance to be a superhero. So that was nice for him. And the worst thing is him dying horribly in Amazing Spider-Man 800.
Or what about losing the symbiote to Lee Price? That was also pretty bad.
Oh,
we don't talk about Lee Price. Like he's the one we did not name.
He's uninvited.
Even though I just named him. If you make a Let's Talk Lee Price, you're not welcome. Or unless you do it as a joke, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, we have a few no characters. Another one is I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah, we're just gonna move on.
Yeah.
Oh, this is from Let's Talk Legacy Heroes. at LT Legacy Age, and it's favorite Legacy character. So we'll go one by one again.
Ooh,
Interesting.
this will be interesting.
That's a really hard one because I love all of the Flash Legacy characters. So I'm gonna go with Dawn and Dawn because they
Nice.
deserve so much better.
Aww.
I don't know if he counts as a legacy hero because it's sort of like the same person, kind of. But Agent Venom is Venom. I don't know if he's a legacy hero or not. I'm not sure if that counts, but I like him a lot since it's like Eddie Brock's the original Venom, and he's like sort of like continuing the Venom legacy, but making it his own kind of thing. But I'd say Agent Venom counts as a legacy character, maybe.
I mean,
What do you guys say,
probably
Jace?
say
That's an interesting. I talked about this with Drew before. It's like interesting to get into like what like a legacy character is.
Yeah.
So like,
Is Agent Venom a legacy character? Well, yes, but actually no. Like that react image. Well, it's complicated, I guess.
it's complicated.
But if he is, he's my favorite.
Mm.
I mean, I'd say Danny Ketch is probably my favorite legacy character, if that counts. I mean, I don't know. I feel like kind of like what Carnage was saying about how he keeps Ghost Rider going. I think that's cool about him.
Yeah.
Next up is Vince.
I really like Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. If he counts.
He's another one of my favorites.
Love him.
Miguel O'Hara. I'll add Miguel O'Hara and Ben Reilly to my list as well.
If he doesn't count, then I guess Kid Invincible is also a really good.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to see a lot of him. There needs to be an Invincible sequel, please. Please.
Kid Invincible.
Yeah.
Can I ask what a legacy character is?
A legacy
It's a
character,
character
is
that
basically
carries on the tradition.
like the name of the character, like sort of like
then
like Flash going from Barry to Wally, stuff like that. Like the mantle of the character being carried on, like the passing of the torch almost.
then Laura Kinney.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
Yes.
She's definitely one of my favorite characters overall. Anyway, so
She's
Love
so
Laura.
good.
Definitely. Alrighty. For me, I'm gonna go with Dick Grayson, Nightwing.
Ooh. Like when he became Batman, or just him as Nightwing in
Yeah,
general?
just him, like in general, like from Robin to Nightwing to Batman, and
like the Dick Grayson as a whole. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good choice.
He's been through a lot. It's great to see how much he's evolved.
Alrighty. Next question was at Talk Firestorm, and it's what made you love the character your account is based off of? Favorite superhero cartoon as well. So we'll do what made you love the character your account is based off first. So Archie first.
I actually didn't find out about Piper until I read some fan fiction with him in it. And I went off the recommendations of that author. And that's what got me into Piper.
Nice.
I think I got into Carnage from like the Spider-Man, the first episode of him being in the animated series. Like seeing like the second Venom, like the red symbiote, the second symbiote was pretty cool to see. That's what got me into Carnage. Like the episodes of him with Venom, Baron Mordo, Spider-Man. Like I really like those a lot.
Those are so good.
Oh yeah, still the Definitive Carnage in my opinion, like the best adaptation.
Same.
I think what got me into Ghost Rider was the fact that he has a flaming head. That was originally why I liked him a lot. And I'm actually going to do Mortal Kombat as well for this one, because it's that one's fast. So, I got into Mortal Kombat through my friends, like, beating the crap out of me when I went over to their house. And I had a desire to win, so that's how I got into it.
Nice.
I got into the Invincible the comic because of Ryan Ottley's art. What made me love the character is I don't know, he's kind of like a Marvel Comics hero in that he's very human. I don't know. I like
my first exposure to Jean was The Last Stand, so it was probably not a great movie, but I just liked her. I was really interested in her as a character, so then I went and started looking deeper into it, and now I'm here.
For me, what got me into Venom, like what drew me instantly to him was his design. Like basically Spider-Man, but what if he was cooler looking? And like literally just a bit because I love monsters. I would love things to watching a lot of Godzilla and everything. So when I saw a monster version of like a Spider-Man type character, I instantly loved him already as soon as I saw him. And then after that, I started reading more of the issues he showed up in, some of his own solo books, and then he became my favorite.
Yeah, he's like almost like a dark reflection of Spider-Man, but he's his own character. Cool seeing him evolve in a way.
Definitely.
Then the second part of that question was favorite superhero cartoon.
Ooh.
Go. So
Ooh.
take your.
Justice League Unlimited.
Yes.
It's a tie between Spectacular Spider-Man and Spider-Man the Animated Series for me.
It's definitely
Probably
Spectacular Spider-Man for me.
I probably go with the Teen Titans from 2006.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That was fun. That was good.
And I already kind of interrupted Carnage, but it's Spectacular Spider-Man for me.
I'm gonna agree with the Teen Titans 2006 one.
Yeah.
That was favorite.
My favorite is, at the moment, I'd have to say it's X-Men Evolution. I really enjoy
Oh, I
that
love
show.
X-Men Evolution.
So good.
It's definitely my favorite X-Men animated series show. It's like it did a really good job with all the characters, and I really love going back to that one.
So need to
Oh.
watch
Yeah,
that
that's a good one.
Last question. This one's actually just for Ghost Rider. Can't remember who asked it. 1 second, we check. At Magolor.
Oh, Magalorbot won. Yeah, I know this kid. Don't worry.
All right. It was least and favorite Ghost Rider, least and favorite video game, and favorite not main in MK11.
Ooh.
So, I'm going to take the Ghost Rider question. So basically, I'd say my favorite has to be the... Actually, my favorite is either Alejandra or Johnny Blaze. I can't really decide. I feel like I like Alejandra because she's not used a lot. And it just makes the heart grow fonder. So there's some of that. My least favorite... I think my least favorite is probably Noble Kale for the same reason, oddly enough. And somebody else can do the video game question.
So the favorites in MK. My favorite character in MK is Sub-Zero Kuai Liang. I also love Hanzo Hasashi Scorpion and Bihan Noob Saibot. Those three are my favorite characters, personally. I think Doge is a similar opinion, I think.
Yes, I love me my ninjas.
Yeah,
I know his favorite's Bihan Noob Saibot, though.
Definitely. The teleport.
And as for least favorite, once again, I think Doge and I agree on Divorce.
Yes.
Yeah, Devore's the worst character in the franchise.
And Baraka. Strike one, Clinton Baraka. Yeah, that's true.
See, I would replace Baraka with Garrus, because Garrus is just not a good character.
No, I like Baraka, but I'm just saying
I like
before I killed
Baraka,
Baraka. Strike one, she kills Baraka. Strike two, she kills Melina. Strike three, she kills Hanzo.
Yes.
Now she has to die.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I agree.
That was our last question.
Oh, cool. We actually did
Woo!
this.
Yeah.
Nice.
We made
There
it.
we go.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast, and we really appreciate you guys listening to us talking for, I'm not sure how long this was, but I'm sure it was a decent amount of time. But anyways, we honestly appreciate you listening if you did. And please leave some comments for some more questions or just feedback in general of how you liked it.
Thank
Also,
you
suggestions for potential themes.
This is part 2 of the same episode with some Let's Talkers that we missed earlier. This is actually take 2. Let's Talk Patience was earlier, but we had some technical difficulties, and then he had to leave. Sorry about that. Hopefully he'll be on another episode. Let you guys introduce yourselves, go through the list.
Face front true believers, this is Ben, aka Talking Ben Grimm, aka at Let's Talk Thing.
I'm Katie at Jewish Speed on Twitter. I'm not an official Let's Talk account, but I talk about the Young Avengers a lot.
I'm at Let's Arkham on Twitter. I talk about the Arkham games and just Batman media in general. And yeah.
Let's Talk Spider-Man. So is Singy, but I'm Philip, so you're that.
So, as Philip said, I'm Let's Talk the Amazing Spider-Man, but everyone just calls me Zingy.
I'm Cassandra. I'm at LT Lesbians and at Let's_Shock. I talk about comic books and specifically the Shocker and girls.
And sometimes shocking girls.
Okay,
I'm the
let's
shocker. I shock
keep
people.
it PG-13.
I shock girls.
Children are listening.
I'm honestly, I'm shocked.
All right, we're off to a
At
great
first, I
start.
wasn't sure about this, but damn.
That's my favorite Shocker line from Homecoming.
We can just
Alright.
make strictly
what is this,
Homecoming
pro
references
wrestling?
now.
Oh,
Anywho.
Shocker's
Call
just the
yourself a
best
shocker.
MCU character
I
at the
shock
point.
people.
If you need
To be
other
honest.
references, you don't deserve to have other references.
Well, there goes my entire Let's Talk account.
We all have to convert to Let's Talk Spider-Man Homecoming accounts.
Oh.
I'll gladly do it.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
I got a lot to say about that movie, so honestly, I'm okay with that.
I got some stuff, and I actually was watching the Civil War earlier. But I digress.
I have a lot of
I haven't
really
watched that movie in
brassy
a couple
stuff.
years. I haven't watched that movie in like a year.
I haven't
it's
watched
been
it in like
years
at
and-
least a week.
Is it still on Netflix?
Nope.
I don't know.
No,
It was on
No.
TV earlier.
no, it's not.
Okay, we're digressing.
Yep. Okay. Here's some questions. What's a genre you'd like to see more of in comics?
I'd like to both see more horror in the way that Immortal Hulk seems to be paving the way for, and I'd like to see more
Right.
mainstream, children's-friendly books like Unstoppable Wasp and Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
I would like to see more kind of like day-to-day, kind of like domestic kind of stories with superheroes, because you see them do all this crazy stuff, but like what really brings them back down to earth is just like seeing them live their lives, which I find really interesting. Also more all ages comics like Unstoppable Wasp and Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Also family stories, because I love them so much.
All right. A genre I'd like to see a lot more of is kind of mystery and detective stories. It's a lot less focused on than some people might think. With Detective Comics 1000 coming out. I just want to see some stories that really challenge the reader's logical thinking and intelligence.
Okay, I love to see more horror as well, but I like to see more Archie type stories, type comics, like who's dating who and what's gonna happen within the story. Because he's gonna find out he made up with his girlfriend or something. I like to see that kind of stories. It's just teen drama. I used to be so into it.
I would love to see that, but with like huge mainstream superheroes.
Yeah, like okay, I wouldn't like Peter and MJ because we've seen a lot of that. But let's say Wolverine and Electra and Daredevil, a love triangle. That would be really dope.
I didn't know they were a love triangle. I'm not gonna lie.
And there's in the MC2 comics with Mayday, Wolverine and Electra had a daughter, so there's that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'd honestly just love to see more comedy like Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, because Marvel has a lot of characters that work really well in a comedic setting, and they have a lot of writers that can do a lot with comedy.
I would love to see horror comedy in the vein of movies like Scream or Cabin in the Woods, that kind of shit. And also,
Language.
my bad. I would love to see more gay shit.
Language.
Yeah.
That one I'm not apologizing for.
You're not forgiven.
It's
No,
still
I
pride
didn't.
somewhere.
Listen, I'm not looking for forgiveness.
Aggressive
And I'm
pride out
way
there.
past asking for permission.
Oh my god. That one was
Alrighty.
good.
Alrighty. Next question. What musical artist, band, or song encapsulates your Let's Talk character or topic best?
I feel that Ben himself is very heavily expressed by the music of Mr. Leonard Cohen, and I feel that the Fantastic Four as a whole really have a lot of Queen to them.
See that.
So for the Young Avengers as a whole, I really get like early 2000s pop vibes from them, and we know specifically that Kate plays the cello and likes listening to classical music. So I feel like she obviously does that a lot. And Billy Kaplan, Wiccan, he's a huge theater nerd, and he really likes musical theater. And I also think Kate does, but especially Billy.
All right. A lot of the things I see in Batman, and especially the gothic undertones of the Batman games, is Russian classical music. So if you listen to a song like Dance of the Night or just anything just in kind of that classical genre, such as, like I said, Dance of the Nights, and I can't think of any others off the top of my head. I thought I could. But it
One
has
second,
that
I'm hearing some
heroic...
background noise.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not from me.
Night on Bald Mountain is very good classical Russian.
Yeah. It just kind of has heroic, like a heroic facade with some dark gothic kind of undertones, which I feel like fits the Batman mythos perfectly.
In a way, it does. I think Homecoming really captured the Spider-Man, like, from his teens to adult. He would really be a fan of the Ramones. He's not much of a rock guy. Peter Parker doesn't have time for music sometimes, but he's a guy in such a hurry all the time. But the Ramones are really a Queens band. They're New York people, and they even sang songs for Spider-Man, so there's that. And for Miles, well, the whole Spider-Man soundtrack, it's perfect. Top notch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I think the song that kind of encapsulates Peter the most is Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head from Spider-Man 2, because I feel like it captures the core struggle of Peter, where he's trying to make things go right, but everything just keeps going wrong for him. And he feels like it's raining all the time, basically.
I can't stop thinking about that corny freeze frame from Spider-Man 2.
I never stop thinking about that corny freeze frame from Spider-Man 2.
I love it.
Falling on my head.
I love the scene where he trips.
Alright.
I love the scene where he falls off a building and breaks his back.
One of
my
my
back!
mutuals recreated that scene from Spider-Man 2, but they were at a gay pride rally. And you know the scene where he watches the ambulance go by and he bites into the hot dog?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's like looking at a bunch of like homophobe protesters and he bites into a hot dog. It's pretty good.
I remember there's a meme in which Peter, at the beginning of Spider-Man 2, is supposed to save those kids from running at the bus, but it's just Peter Parker, and the kids are run by the bus, and Peter's eating his hot dog, like in the movie.
Okay.
Peter just doesn't care anymore.
The Great Power Comes
It's basically Superior Spider-Man, the movie.
Oh no.
Oh
Please
no.
never
Don't give
say
them
those
ideas.
words again.
I like Superior Spider-Man.
I
I like it as a
blasphemy.
standalone story. I don't like what happens after or before, but I like it as a standalone story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand when people say it's
fair.
like
That fair enough.
I understand when people say it would work better as in what if story, but I don't mind. I just didn't like what happened.
Yeah, it'd work much better as a what if story.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, moving on.
Cass, did you?
Good Vibrations is the song I associate with the Shocker.
Nice.
Vibration.
Yes.
That just works for the side.
That was deliberate.
Because he's got, that's his power. He does vibration.
He's the
Exactly.
vibrator.
Okay.
Just a human vibrator.
Of all supervillains, I think the Shocker is probably the one that gets laid the least.
I mean, look at him. He looks like a pillow. Of course he gets laid the least.
Quilt Man.
That's Crazy Quilt. That's what I'm thinking of.
I mean, his name is Herman, so.
His last name is Schultz.
Yeah, that's not a very flattering name to moan.
Well, okay.
Herman Schultz.
Guys.
Schultz.
I think we need to get back on track here.
Yes.
Really?
Okay,
you don't
okay,
want to
then.
talk about the
Vince,
Shocker
I thought you were supposed to be
anymore?
moderating us.
I'm trying.
No, this is good. This is
No, you're
quality
not.
content.
You're not
Vince
even
is trying.
Right, back on point.
This is clean content for green
This is a-
beers.
This is a green friendly.
Oh shoot, Green can't listen to the podcast anymore.
Speaking of green, I'm just gonna skip to Green's question, and we'll go back to some others later. Why are you so old? Why are you all ancient?
See, when two people love each other,
No, he's too young for this.
He's a baby.
Because of something we can't tell you because you are 3 and you can learn in about 20 years happened much longer ago for us than for you, Greenie. And that's why we're old compared to your young guys.
I mean,
I'm probably
Green
only a
was
couple years
conceived
older than
yesterday.
When Mama Blue and Daddy Yellow fell in love,
Nope.
they had you, and you're green now.
Nope. The G in PG stands for green.
Okay.
Parental Green.
Parental green?
It stands for for green. It's for spelled PHOR.
Just green friendly.
Yes.
GF.
I've mentioned this in the first part of this episode, but for those that don't know, Green is Let's Talk Damian Wayne. Anyways, what's your favorite story of your favorite character?
My favorite stories for Ben are Fantastic Four Volume 3, number 56, the issue that reveals he's Jewish, and The Thing, Volume 2, issue number 8, the issue where he has his bar mitzvah.
Woo!
Oh.
For me, for the Young Avengers, my favorite Young Avengers story is I love Volume 1. I highly recommend. And then the Family Matters arc, which is issues 9 through 12. It just so much gets revealed, and my favorite character, Tommy, is introduced.
I'd have to say my favorite story for Batman is definitely the Arkham games. But if I had to go with the comics, then I'd go with the Court of Owls New 52 run, because it's a much different threat that Batman is faced with. Most of Batman's villains are a challenge to body or mind. The Court of Owls is so much bigger than him, and he still has to, face it and just face it. It's a very different type of threat, and it's very interesting to see Batman overcome that.
I'd say either The Child Within, with Harry Osborn. It's a really big story. It's about Harry Osborn's dad, and yeah, sorry, spoilers. And Spider-Man Blue, which is pretty much the whole throughout of Peter and Gwen's relationship. Even if I'm not the biggest Gwen fan, I think the relationship is something to be. It's just too pure, and then ends so tragically. For Renew Your Vows, it's great.
Agreed.
I love Renew Your Vows so much.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great series that shows why Peter and MJ kind of just work as a couple.
Is that your answer? Is your favorite?
Well, I'd say my actual answer is Spider-Man No More. Because it's a great story that really just explores Peter's struggles with responsibility, and it shows that even though he's a superhero, he's just a man. He's still human. He has very human problems.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce off of what Zingy said. As someone myself who's battling anxiety and depression, it's a story about stepping up to your responsibilities, and it's very inspiring, and I relate to it quite a bit.
True.
Well said.
Well said. It's one of those where you get to focus more on the hero, like the man instead of the Spider-Man, which is
exactly
really one of those deep Spider-Man stories. And from then we get Spider-Man 2 and raindrops keep falling on my.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think
back to what we said earlier.
There was a way of describing Marvel that I heard when I was really young that I think really applies to Spider-Man No More. It's just Marvel's always been about the person behind the mask and not the mask itself.
The expression I always heard was, within their colorful boots, they would still have feet of clay.
Ooh.
I think that's
That's
how
so
Stan pitched the Fantastic Four.
I love that.
That sounds really good, actually.
That
Yeah.
fits most Marvel characters, honestly.
Yeah, to me,
Mhm.
that's the Marvel formula. Colorful boots, feet of clay.
Is that like a Gollum reference?
No,
I
it's
think
like feet of clay means like you're still fallible.
Okay.
A Gollum
Yeah.
reference would be Peter seeing his web shooters and saying, "My precious."
No,
Like no,
like Jewish
the other
folklore
Gollum,
creature.
Golem.
the one Ben's
Yeah,
based on.
Okay, Cass, and what's your favorite story?
My favorite story about lesbians is either Lumberjanes, which is like my favorite comic, or Angela, Queen of Hell, which is about Thor's sister saving a girlfriend from hell. And my favorite story about the Shocker is The Deadly Foes of Spider-Man.
That one's good.
It is good.
Love it.
I'm gonna combine this question. What was the first ever comic you read, or what got you into comics in the first place?
Okay. The first superhero comic I ever read, I think, was Marvel 1602. But the first like comic in general I ever read was probably Calvin and Hobbes collections that my parents had. And what got me interested in comics was some birthday party hats in preschool that had the X-Men on them because Wolverine was very scary and Cyclops looked very, very cool.
Oh, he
And
is so
what
cool.
really solidified my adoration for Cape Comics was the DC animated universe, specifically Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
The first comic I ever read, it was some miscellaneous Spider-Man comic that my grandpa got for my cousin. I don't remember what it was. But what like really got me into comics was for my birthday when I was little, I got the best of Archie comics. And it's like this book with like hundreds of Archie stories in it. And I used to read that like every night before I went to bed. And it just like made me fall in love with like the comic medium and graphic novels and everything. But what got me into like Marvel comics, I've always been interested in Marvel, like since I was little, watching like the classic X-Men movies, Spider-Man movies, Fantastic Four movies, but getting into Marvel comics specifically was Young Avengers Volume 1 because I kept seeing stuff online about it.
Alright, since I don't remember... Okay, so I'm going to modify the second question a little bit and just say what got me into Batman as a whole. But first of all, what got me into comics is I was kind of into superheroes before this, but I wasn't like nerding out over them like I am today and like I have been doing for the past, say, 13, 14 years. But it's the Spider-Man 2002 movie is what really kind of started my love for the superhero medium and just the escapism of it and all of that. And then what got me into Batman is I thought he was super lame. And then I got the Lego Batman games and the Lego Batman sets for Christmas, I think 2012. And then I started playing those. I built the sets and stuff like that. And I really got into Batman. And then I got the Arkham games. And then it all just went from there.
I always loved the Raimi films. I'm not like I preaching them all the time, but I really admire them. I admire how they capture the core and the essence of Peter Parker, and in a sort of way, the escapism of what would you do with those powers, and then the reality of it with the responsibility and the way and the loss of everything in your life in a certain
Amen
way.
to that.
And I remember my first Spider-Man comic. It was a trade paperback of Coming Home, a JMS story about Morlun when he's hunting down Spider-Man. And Mary Jane just left him, and he's moving to a new house, and he meets Ezekiel. So it felt the whole comic is like our race against time, with Peter dying and pretty much wounded the whole story, and Mon was just coming at him like a beast, like the unknown, that kind of thing. And it felt relatable to me when I was when I was in school. The homework, the pressure, it all felt like a waste of time. I didn't have time to do anything. I really connected with Peter in that story.
Honestly, what got me into superheroes and comic books, because they kind of go hand in hand for me, was Spider-Man the animated series and Fantastic Four the animated series, because I grew up on reruns of both those series, and they're a huge part of why I love characters like Peter Parker and Ben Grimm. And
Mm.
and looking back now, I love how Spider-Man the animated series kind of skipped the high school years and went straight for Peter in college, because a lot of his most defining moments came from his college years.
Hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah, the
Yep,
new animated
definitely.
series did that really well.
Yeah, that's why it lasted so short, pretty much. Like 3 years in the comics.
I got into comics because my dad is into comics. He's been collecting and reading comics his whole ass life, which is, he's old. And when I was really young, he used to read me Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars, which I think that's sort of where I got my start.
I've said this before, but that was like such a cool story to start Marvel with.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
it's
Marvel
like
story.
Marvel at its best.
I think Cass briefly became her dad's very own Green at the beginning there.
I guess so.
Oop.
Okay, speaking of green,
Oh no.
See how
That were,
perfect
like,
of a
little-
segue I make?
they were a little more serious, yeah.
Dun
First
dun
one-
dun.
Let's just answer these together, actually. Favorite color scheme on a character and favorite Elseworlds.
Let's see, my favorite color scheme is probably the pink and purple of Galactus, Devourer of Worlds. And my favorite Elseworlds is Marvel's 1602.
I really like Kate's costume. Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. Purple's actually my favorite color, in real life.
Same.
So yeah, I
Same.
really love how she's always decked out in purple. I mean, I guess that also applies to Clint, but like, I love Kate more. So,
Gosh.
yeah, Kate.
All right.
Oh,
Um,
and sorry, wait. Favorite Elseworld is Secret War is Battle World, the House of M. So House of M 2015. I don't know what universe that is, but it's so good. I love it.
all right. Okay, so I'd have to say my favorite color scheme is red, blue, and yellow because you can't really beat that. It's so bold and it's so heroic. It works great on characters like Captain Marvel and Superman, especially. It's just, yeah, you can't really beat that. And my favorite Elseworld story would have to be either Earth 3, where all the heroes are good. I mean, all the heroes are bad and all the villains are good. Or I guess Arkham games would count as Elseworlds since it doesn't fit in any of the comics continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
they count.
Sweet.
Does that mean the
Okay,
entire MCU is an Elseworld story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
guess
it's always
so.
been.
It's
It
Earth,
is.
Yeah,
I think
19999.
1999. No, it's 5.
There's five
It's-
nines.
You're
One.
Just
it's
5 nines.
19
99999.
That's a little pretentious.
Well, look at what Far From Home's trying, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's not
Yeah.
gonna work out.
Do y'all know that the like calling number of the ship, that the plane in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is 616?
Oh, neat.
Is it?
Yes.
I
That's
didn't
awesome.
know that.
That was also the number that Scott's van was locked up in an Endgame.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Whoa, that's actually wow.
And then in Thor 2, there's a little on the board that
Oh,
Thor
that's
2
so
just
big
basically
board
lays
about
out the entire Marvel multiverse.
it
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah, and then Ragnarok kind of messed that up.
I love Ragnarok though, so
Ragnarok is my second favorite MCU
I haven't
movie.
seen it.
Ragnarok
Is
is
it still on
kind of on the
Netflix?
low end for me.
That's
Ragnarok
fair.
is Tom
I
Holland's
just-
favorite MCU movie. When he
I just don't like the way it treated the Warriors 3.
That's fair.
they deserve
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's fair.
But hey, we got Shazam after that for Zachary Levi.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I also like red, blue, and yellow, but I think green and purple work really good. I don't know. I just have that one.
like 90% of Spider-Man villains.
Like,
I'm a little biased towards that one too. Not gonna lie.
Hulk. I've always
Lizard,
loved Hulk
Goblin.
design. Hulk
One of my
design is
favorite
this really. Uh-huh.
things. Sorry.
No, that's okay. He's just a really bulky guy. Like, I have a friend in class who's always trying to be bulky, and he almost ripped his shirt one time, and he was green in the chest. I don't know why, and he said he was a Hulk, and he was just running. Okay, that's weird. And favorite Elseworld story, I'd say it's Marvel 2099 or from DC Gotham by Gaslight.
Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you cut out. So
Yeah, you cut out there.
Oh, okay.
yeah, Gotham by Gaslight's really good.
Gotham
There's
by
this great
Gaslight is
video.
a great story.
There's this great video. I think it's on Nerdsync explaining the significance of color and why Hulk is green and purple. It's because back in those comics, they wanted to make it easy to like differentiate heroes from villains. So heroes would always be in the red, blue, and yellow, or a mix of those, and then villains would always have colors like green and purple. And when they made Hulk, you guys probably know he was originally gray,
Yeah.
but when they made him green and purple, they wanted to like make it seem like he's walking that line. Kind
One
of.
of my
Good.
Cool. One of my favorite shots is in Secret Wars 1985, where we see the heroes who have all these like colors from gray to brown to red and blue, and then almost all the villains are just green and purple.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Except
great.
Ultron.
So little color variation.
Yeah.
Especially
villains,
with Spider-Man villains.
You need to have a rainbow
Yeah.
Spider-Man someday.
I mean, there's even like a Spider-Man villain, like 2 Spider-Man villains that are all green with the Lizard and the Green Goblin.
Well, those both have purple.
It depends on who's designing them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Alright,
Okay.
I'm gonna sound a little biased here, but my favorite color combination is red and blue because the 2 colors just work really well together. Like, especially on a character like Spider-Man, where they're broken up with the black webbing all across his suit.
Yeah.
True.
And now that I've had more time to think about it in the last take, my favorite Elseworld story would have to be Renew Your Vows, because it's so lovable and just charming, and it's great. Renew Your Vows is it's a lovable and charming story with Peter just struggling to be a dad and Mary Jane kind of trying really hard to just keep it all together.
Oh.
True. Besides the fact
Yeah,
that pretty much every
Renew Your Vows.
superhero is dead. Again.
I mean, this is true, but Mary Jane's also just struggling running a business and being a mom and being a superhero, and coming from a family where my mom has to do a lot of stuff like that. It speaks a lot to me, and it connects with me really well.
My heart.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Cass?
I feel like red and blue is such a basic answer, but my 2 favorite superheroes are red and blue, so I feel like I have to say it. But I also really love like orange and blue. Like the Hobgoblin is one of my favorite designs in all of comics. And also silver and purple, which is not something I ever thought I loved until I saw Aquaman. And Orm has one of the best costume designs I've ever fucking seen in that movie.
It's
Language.
true.
Language.
I'm not apologizing. It's that good.
We've established that Cass won't apologize for her language.
I will not apologize.
We're just
I'm
making
a
Age of
grown
Ultron
ass
references at
woman.
this point.
I'm fucking proud of you. Just kidding. I'm proud of you.
My favorite
Oh my
Elseworlds
God.
is the MCU. Like my favorite true Elseworlds is Model Apes, because I think apes are funny.
Marvel Apes just means Planet of the Apes. I want it.
We were apes.
I think Marvel Apes is actually just the future of Planet of the Apes.
I think you're right.
On.
Just an ape becomes Spider-Man.
I forgot my
No,
favorite
Monkey.
DC.
Spider Monkey.
My favorite DC Elseworlds is Bombshells.
Here's Bombshells is better than Marvel Apes. I take it back.
Yes.
Everybody
forgot
just
about
took
Yes.
their answer back.
Reach.
I don't take
Asheville's
mine. I
is
stick
so
by the
good.
Arkham games.
I stick by House of M for
I'm
15,
sticking with
but
Renew
like,
Your Vows.
Nothing
but
is
like,
better than lesbians fighting Nazis.
It's
I was
true. Well,
about to
no,
say it's tied.
Jewish
It's tied.
lesbians fighting Nazis.
That's
Yeah,
Like,
okay,
nothing
you're
is
right.
better
That's
than
true.
lesbians
Kane.
punching Hitler in the face.
Well,
Kane.
yes, but
Kane.
actually no.
Love
Nothing is better
her.
than lesbians fighting Nazis. That's the
I
most
love Miri
amazing thing I've ever
Marvel.
heard.
I've personally knocked out Adolf Hitler over 200 times.
Two brothers.
Yikes.
Oh god, are we good?
We're
We
good.
good? Okay.
Yeah, we good. We good.
Wait,
If you had to... What?
Wait, no.
I just wanted to point out that a lot of the characters in Marvel apes are in fact not apes. Spider Monkey, who is not an ape because he has a tail, and apes do not have tails.
This is true.
That is
But then
all.
Marvel is never really good about its, facts.
Anywho,
Keep your science
Alright.
out of my comics.
If you had to change one thing about your favorite character, what would it be?
I would probably change the always popping up under iffy writers plot point of Ben having been in love with Sue prior to the rocket crash. It was old in the 60s. These days, it's just mind-numbing.
So I would like to go back to a more to how Kate was written originally. I don't know. She just like I don't know how to describe it. The best example I could think of is comparing Kate in Young Avengers Volume 1, where she tells Steve Rogers at 16 years old that being a superhero, you could try and stop us all you want, but no matter what you do, we're superheroes and we help people. We're gonna keep doing this. And she found multiple loopholes so she and her friends and the rest of the Young Avengers could still be superheroes. And then in West Coast Avengers 2018, Cap called her to discuss the fact that she didn't run by him, that she was restarting the West Coast Avengers, and Kate just freaked out, was like, oh my god, wait, I didn't tell him this, he's gonna be so mad at me. When I read that, me and a couple other of my friends just I never fully understood why she freaked out, because at multiple times at 16 years old she stood up to Captain America and Tony Stark and just so many other like Avengers, and just told them no, stood her ground, and then she went to, oh my god, I didn't tell them. So just kind of having more of that kind of Kate back. Oh, also,
Oh.
I don't would really like it if she's came out as I personally think she's bi. I have friends who think she's a lesbian. Yeah. So
Let her
either,
kiss America.
well, yeah, pretty much.
Well, she's 16 after all.
What? No, well, now she's 22.
Yeah, but she was 16. It makes sense that, well, she wanted to take on Captain America and all.
Well,
It doesn't.
you start out like that, and I just see it as a regression of her personally.
Yeah.
I don't know why Captain America would give a shit anyway. It's not like he has ever had anything to do with the West Coast Adventures.
Well, it
It's
was
true.
like her thing is like, oh, well, because you know how Civil War 1 was the whole reality TV show thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
New Warrior.
it was originally set up that they were all it never got fully explained because it got canceled after 10 issues, but they were all on a reality show, and that's how they were being funded. The
Oh.
West Coast Avengers. So that's also why Kate's part of reasoning for her freaking out. But yet Clint and Kate never talk about Civil War 2. You know what? I'm good. We can go to this later.
We do not have to talk about
Let's
Civil War
move on.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
enough.
Let's just not talk about any Civil War but the movie.
Okay.
Okay.
I can live with that.
All right. So, something I would change about the Arkham games was in the first two games, the combat system was a little underdeveloped. It was still kind of clunky. It did definitely pave the way for combat systems in many, many other games. And we certainly wouldn't have what... There's a lot of things we wouldn't have in our games without the Arkham games combat system. But, like I said, it was a little underdeveloped and clunky, and I think they definitely started to fix that in Origins, and they completely refurbished it in Night, and now it's so much better. But that's the only thing I can think of that I would change. Oh, and the boss fights. All the boss fights, most of them are pretty lackluster. Formulaic.
Some of them, I like Clayface. I like the one with Clayface though.
Clayfaces was good.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Freeze was stand out.
Yeah.
Batman
Oh, that was so good. So clever.
Okay, One More Day was always meant to be here in this question, but there's a lot of people who just want to go back to reboot everything that happens in the last 11 years of Spider-Man comics, and yeah, but I prefer if they just slowly regress into that moment, because they're doing it right now. Spider-Man is back with MJ in the new Nick Spencer run, and May has been diagnosed with cancer, so they're slowly going back to those pre-OMD days, and I think that's the route they should be going for right now.
Okay.
And
so you want to change things to kind of like get rid of One More Day, but not like a complete.
no, I mean it's just I've heard this quote somewhere that a good writer rewrites the whole thing, but a great writer just tries to slowly back. I don't know how to say it, but a great writer is supposed to keep those things that used to be before and try to create something new, something different, something exciting for everyone else. And there's also I like to resurrect Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin. He should be Green Goblin again because they're killing off a lot of Spider-Man villains. Mysterio just died.
Wait, what?
No, he came back though, right?
No, he just died. He was just butchered by the new villain.
Oh, okay.
He's like a demon guy. Sorry, but they just killed Craven, Robot Master, and Given.
They really did Spider-Man dirty like that.
They really did.
But they killed Gibbon?
Yeah.
That's the main character in Marvel Apes.
Damn you, Marvel.
I just find it hard to believe that they killed Mysterio right before Far From Home.
That is really surprising.
Yeah.
Well, they've started to not care about quite as much a day-to-day movie synergy. Like Jane was Thor while Thor was still having movies come out.
That's
yeah, I would like to see Jane Thor in the
Elseworlds
MCU.
after all.
Me too, Katie.
Me too.
But Kate's still Hawkeye while Clint's getting a Disney Plus series.
Well, Katie,
I'm not. That's a whole other discussion.
Kate's
That's
gonna
a
be
whole other discussion. I'm so nervous. Sorry.
Honestly, the thing I would change about Spider-Man from the last couple years is Parker Industries. That can go away, but the Mark IV spider armor can stay. That suit was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But ideally though, Peter Parker would still be a high school teacher.
Thank you.
Thank God.
It works so well for him because he loves molding young minds and helping people discover who they are.
That's pretty much the whole deal of friendly neighborhood. He's in the neighborhood. He's with the people he cares about. New York kids, growing up and all.
I have to say, I think that Cindy makes a lot more sense as a reporter than Peter does. It just seems to fit her character more.
Yeah, I don't think Pete would be a great reporter.
Yeah.
Because high school teacher, so perfect for him.
Honestly.
Yeah, teaching works for Peter Parker. It's weird.
It does.
It's like coming
loves working
full.
with kids.
It's like coming full circle. He was bullied at school, and now he's teaching at the same school.
Also, it really feels like the sort of thing Ben probably meant when he was talking about with great power there must also come a great responsibility, since he didn't know Peter could lift cars and climb walls, but he knew Peter was smart.
Thank
Exactly.
you for the there must
Ben,
also.
Mhm.
That's usually
I
forgotten.
just want to thank you for adding the there must also.
I did it just for you guys. For you.
Thank
you.
Because I very strongly believe that fully changes the context of the quote and makes it mean a lot more.
Yeah, I fully agree with Cass. The must also just it completely changes the phrase and just makes it sound like it's an obligation, and Peter kind of took that to heart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to reference Superior Spider-Man, which I know is forbidden, but it kind of showcased that. Like, Peter sees it as a job. Like, he can't just let one small crime go, while Otto sees it as more just an option. Like, he can do some, but some he'll just let the police get.
Mm-hmm.
Otto sees V
Alrighty.
Spider-Man as like a game to win.
Yes.
He's a superhero with villain techniques, so there's a whole deal.
What
Okay.
I would change most about my favorite character, who is Spider-Man, is I would canonically like cement in canon that he's Jewish and also bi, and I would
Thank you.
undo One More Day.
Yes, yes. I don't know if we already did this one, but favorite writers right now and least favorite.
We did that on the first take, but we didn't get to it in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even get an answer on the first take, so.
Oh yeah, because it got
I
cut
wasn't
out.
even in the first
Me
take
neither.
either.
Okay, so let's do it again.
All right.
Woo.
Okay, so my favorite writer of all time is Dwayne McDuffie, both because of his excellent work on Fantastic Four, though it was brief, and his contributions to the Justice League Unlimited series, which is, like I said, what really cemented my love of comics. And my favorite writer working right now is probably Saladin Ahmed. And my least favorite writer is Frank Miller because of Holy Terror.
And Dark Knight Strikes Again.
I'm the
Holy Terror is kind of on a
goddamn
whole
And
other
All
level
Star.
of bad.
So my favorite writers, I really love Jeremy Whitley and Tom Taylor. Jeremy Whitley writes Unstoppable Wasp, and he's also writing the new Future Foundation series. And I just love everything he writes. It's so good. And he's just such a great person. Anytime I've interacted with him, like on Twitter. And Tom Taylor, I love All New Wolverine so much. And Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which are like the two like main things by him that off the top of my head I could think. Oh, wait.
Injustice.
Tom Taylor wrote. Did he write X-Men Red?
Yes.
Yeah, he writes X-Men Red.
Oh my god, I love X-Men
wrote.
Red so much.
And he's writing Deceased right now, too, so.
And he
So
wrote
good.
Injustice. I don't know if the first Injustice, but Injustice 2, he did write that.
So his writing's so good also.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite writer? Purely based on how I like how they write Young Avengers characters. I'm not that big of a fan of Young Avengers Volume 2, and that was written by Kieran Gillen.
Wait,
I can
it was
talk
written
about
by
Nebula?
Nebula? Yeah.
No.
That,
He's heard that joke many times, I'm sure.
oh, that wasn't a joke. I just thought that's who you were talking about.
I knew that
No,
name sounded familiar,
Kieran.
but I couldn't figure out why.
But yeah, I could talk about why I don't like it at another time because that's whole spiel. But yeah. Also, I like. No, I'm just gonna go with Kieran right now because I haven't read a lot of the other person's stuff.
All
I was
right,
thinking.
so For my favorite writer for Batman, I'd have to go with Bruce Timm. He wrote a lot of the Arkham games, and the animated series, which as most people know, is very, very well written and are regarded as some of the best Batman stories. And my favorite comic writer of all time, is a tie between Kevin Smith and Mark Waid. Both of them did a run on Daredevil, and as a lot of people don't know, I run another account called Let's Talk Daredevil. So they both did great runs on Daredevil, and Mark Waid did a great run on Wally West Flash, who's one of my favorites.
Mark Waid's really good. I also like Robert Kirkman. He's one of the greatest. He's one of my favorites.
Oh, sorry. I got
No, it's
really
okay.
excited there.
I love the Walking Dead comics. I'm not the biggest fan of the show, but the comics are just so great, top notch, and everything. And I'm just reading Invincible. It's really good. It's really, really good.
I know it is.
As for writer right now, I love Tom Taylor as well. He's really good, but I guess Scott Snyder. I really like the new 52 Batman, and he's been involved in pretty much everything from that moment on, from Court of Owls, Dead at the Family, and Endgame. I think I don't remember what was the arc, but he's now running Justice League, Dark Knight's Metal, and his last story with Greg Capullo. That's just the perfect dynamic duo. And worst writer, I'm not sure. For Spider-Man, I'm not gonna say Dan Slott because that's a popular option.
No, he's my least favorite for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not writer.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his. He's done stuff I like. He's done stuff I don't like. But I'm just gonna leave there for now.
He's my least favorite. Just saying.
Yeah, same. I mean, I can't find something that's purely bad in a writer. There has to be at least something good.
It's true.
Yes.
I admit, I still like most of Batman Year One.
Yeah.
I think most people like Batman Year One.
I know,
Batman
but
Year
I
One
just
is
said
awesome.
that Frank Miller was my least favorite overall. I'm saying that's still one thing of his I really do enjoy.
Yeah, I
Fair
have
enough.
it in my closet.
You guys have the Batman Year One animated movie? That one's really good.
Yeah, it's a straight up adaptation. It's really good.
Cool.
Yeah. I love the animated movies that are just moving comic books.
Yeah.
I'd have to say my current favorite comic writer is Tom Taylor because he's versatile and he puts a lot of passion into his work. Honestly, since I'm just now thinking of this, if they were to ever bring back Invincible, because I love that series, and if you haven't read it, go read it, I want Tom Taylor at the helm.
Woo!
And
I'll take anyone. I just want to see the sequel.
And for my least favorite comic writer right now, I'll just say he's currently writing Fantastic Four and Iron Man, and leave it at that.
He who shall not slot be named.
Ah, I see. You're a Spider-Man of culture as well.
Thanks for reminding me.
Slotto Octavius.
The number of times
Nice.
I've gotten that reaction from Philip is honestly kind of funny.
Tom Taylor writing Invincible. Huh? I'll have to think on that one. It'd be so weird to have someone other than Kirkman. We're moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
My favorite writer is either Jeremy Whitley, because I love Unstoppable Wasp, and also Raven, Pirate Princess, and Princeless are incredible, or Noelle Stevenson, who created Lumberjanes, which is probably my favorite comic book of all time. My least favorite writer, I would say... Whoops, shit, sorry about that. I would say he shall
Don't apologize.
not be named, except I really love Spider-Verse. So I'll say Alan Moore is my least favorite.
Alright.
We're going after some sacred cows today.
Listen,
I think Cass just broke Vince.
I think Alan Moore has great ideas, and then he ruins them by writing really fucking gross comics.
No, that's fair.
Chaka's not gonna like that.
Well,
That's
I
too
will
bad.
Luckily,
not.
Chaka's not on this episode.
I would say it to
Alrighty.
his face.
Next question. Have you ever cried at a movie? If so, which one broke you first?
Let's see. I cried at a number of movies as a kid, including I think Tarzan and Lilo and Stitch. But the most recent movie to make me cry was Into the Spider-Verse during the "It always fits eventually" scene,
Yeah, because that
and
was
during
right
the
after.
tribute in the credits to Stan.
Yeah, that
Oh
was.
yeah.
I just cry at every Stan Lee scene now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
It's gonna be like that from now on.
Yeah, yeah,
But he wants us to be happy, so
yeah. Face front, true believers.
All right, everybody who's going to say the game, let's get that out of the way now.
Just everyone get your tears out for Stan now.
Stan
I'm
tears.
horrible at fake rhymes, and I just keep my emotions down for now until counseling.
So until I need my therapist, I don't show my emotions.
I don't show emotion to my therapist either.
Okay, that's bad.
That's bad. Moving on.
That's not good, sir.
All right, yeah, let's continue. So I'm not even going to explain why because a lot of these are pretty self-explanatory. But I'll just list off the 3 movies that I've cried at. So the first one was the first Hunger Games movie during Rue's death scene,
Oh.
and then the second was Coco,
Oh.
and then the third was Endgame 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
I saw Endgame again. The second Scott and Cassie falling.
You're
that
so
hurt.
big.
The only part I cried.
So big.
That opening scene got me.
That's
Yeah.
Wait, the opening scenes with Clint. Wait, with Clint or like
Yeah.
Tony?
With Clint.
don't,
The opening
don't give me
scene.
hope.
I didn't cry when I watched it, but after the first time I watched it, like the next day, I sat down and cried for a really long time about it.
Oh.
He had to process it.
Yeah.
All of them ads were just pretty awkward.
Every time I hear "I love you 3000," I cry a little bit.
I have a poster that says that on
I'll
it.
cry
I
for
have
you
the-
3000 if you
I
love
have
me.
the Endgame re-release poster that has the Iron Man gauntlet on it, and it says "We love you."
Oh.
2000.
Oh.
We love you 3000 boys and girls.
Just way to break my heart, Marvel.
They give us family moments and then they take them away.
I think,
And then
I
they
think
bring him back.
Scott missing out on another 5 years of.
Okay, do you want me to start crying on this
I think
podcast?
that's the biggest heartbreak
Alright,
of
this
that
isn't
whole
sad boy
movie.
anymore, so let's
No, my
continue.
eyes
reminds
are
me of-
tearing up.
It reminds me of my dad, actually.
My eyes are tearing up at the moment.
I'm getting a bit choked up here right now. Yeah.
I love Scott and Cassie, both in the comics and the MCU, so much.
So always gotta love a good father-daughter relationship.
Honestly.
I'm gonna say it first. I cried at Toy Story 4.
Oh.
I did in 2 scenes. I don't want to spoil them for you, but I really cried. I almost broke down for a moment. But I remember crying in other movies. Rogue One, the Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
During that scene.
Hachi.
Yeah, I got you.
Hachi. This
Oh, that movie makes me cry. That movie makes me cry.
with Richard Gere. I was 2 years old. I remember I was really young when I saw that movie. And I always wanted a dog, and my parents just put that movie, and I saw the dog die.
Dogs. That was
This is why I don't watch movies about dogs.
Okay.
Dog
That's
movies
how
always
dogs
get to you.
humans.
This is why I don't watch movies. They make me cry.
I'm more attached to dogs than I am to humans.
Yeah, that's a mood.
I also cried in that game, too. But there's a scene in Spider-Man: Homecoming, which when Peter's in the rubble, I didn't cry, but it really broke me. Where I
Yeah, that
heard
scene.
Come on,
Peter's
Peter.
voice
Come on,
and-
Spider-Man.
Come
I
on,
definitely
guys.
got misty-eyed.
I got
Psyche-eyed
misty-eyed too.
I literally
got
cried
dirt
with
in
tears
my
of
eye.
joy
It
during the
was
opening theme with the Marvel Studios logo and the '60s
Dude,
cover.
the orchestral cover of that theme is so fucking good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
it's top
Giacchino
notch.
is a
Speaking
great
of, like,
composer.
It's
The
true.
Doctor Strange.
I
He's
also
really
cried
good.
once during
He's really good.
with tears of joy during Endgame.
Yeah. It
Very-
was like Tony Stark's death. It wasn't. It was tragic. I really cried of sadness, but then it got into joy. It's like a heroic death, not much of a tragedy at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was.
I cried during tears of joy when Captain America lifted Thor's hammer.
Oh, those so
Everyone in my theater screamed. I was the first person to scream, but everyone started screaming.
my first viewing,
Yeah,
the theater
same.
was almost empty.
Oh, seriously? It was
Yeah,
packed.
Whoa.
it was opening weekend, and there was almost nobody there.
Oh, wow. Did you go to weird time?
The showing was from like 11 to 11 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Oh, that's probably why.
Yeah.
Because it was late.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Come on. Let's keep going.
All right, Zingy.
Singy.
So a movie that really just broke me from the past couple years is Infinity War. 'Cause
I don't want to go, sir. Please.
that scene,
Please,
it broke me, and I cry every day now because of it.
My saddest death from Infinity War
It's okay. Peter Parker's back now.
is probably
Yeah,
Heimdall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he lost 5 years of his life.
Yeah, but
Heimdall was sad too.
Heimdall is like the one character that I'm sure is not come back, and that's why his death makes me really sad.
Yeah,
Like,
I know
he's gonna be in
Loki.
Suicide Squad probably.
Vision made me sad, but I know he's coming back. I'm sure Gamora's not gonna stay dead, but I think Heimdall's
she's
gone.
alive.
Well,
Well,
kind of
she came back.
alive
Gamora
now.
Well,
is
she's-
alive.
Yeah,
But that loving look Loki gave Thor before Thanos snapped his neck, that hurt me.
It
Yeah,
did.
Fair.
The first 5 minutes of Infinity War were an emotional roller coaster.
It's
That
true.
can be said for Endgame too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
But I feel like it's more true for Infinity War, though.
I
Yeah,
care
because you went
more
from
about
happy
Heimdall than I do about Hawkeye's kids.
to me too.
I care more about Heimdall than I do about Hawkeye.
That's not true. Hawkeye's like my second favorite MCU character, but I care more about Heimdall than I do about his kids.
Okay, I do love Clint. I will say that. I do love Clint Barton.
But in honesty, everyone cares more about everyone else than Hawkeye. Just kidding.
We're just gonna break Cassandra today.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gonna
it's
break
okay.
me.
Every time I watch Spider-Verse, I cry when Peter Parker dies because I love Peter Parker and I hate seeing him die. The first couple times I saw Civil War, I cried at the part where Pete talks about Uncle Ben, and I cry every time I watch The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, which is probably my favorite movie of all.
All right.
I forgot one. Sorry.
I would cry at Peter's death in Spider-Verse if he wasn't blonde.
Ben Riley, please. Ben Riley, please.
I would have cried at his death if he wasn't Ben Riley.
He just looks so much like a different character that just I couldn't like subconsciously associate him with Peter Parker.
It was
Like
a
I
weird
knew
choice.
he was obviously, but subconsciously I just couldn't connect the dots.
I did tear up. I did tear up for his death in Spider-Verse. Okay.
Honestly,
I teared up during
We are
What's Up,
running
Peter?
out of time. At least
It's
for
but
me.
the,
So I'm
the
gonna
scene
take-
from Spider-Verse that made me really cry.
Let's go.
Everyone's just
Alright,
saying their farewells to Miles, and it hurt.
Alright,
Oh,
alright.
yeah. Okay. Next
I'm
one.
just
Are
gonna
we
give
allowed
you
to
two
say
more
that?
questions.
Legally? I
Okay.
think we're legally allowed to say that.
Favorite legacy character?
Nightwing.
Ooh, Nadia Von Dyne,
Uh,
or Wally, but he's been disqualified now by DC, so it's Nadia.
Kate, Tommy, Nadia, Laura, Billy, Teddy.
Kamala.
My whole brand is legacy characters.
I
They're
know.
all so good.
I love them so much. They're better than
they're better than like their predecessors. They're just so much cooler. Legacy
Yeah.
characters are great. Kamala
Legacy
Miles,
characters are just
Sam.
all so good.
They are. I love them so much.
It's just, what if we took pretty good characters and made them more
Even-
relatable and cooler and often gay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain
Arkham.
Marvel, Carol Danvers.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
For,
I often forget she's a legacy character.
I do too.
Yeah.
I know
Me
she
too.
is.
I
but
think we all do.
It's because she has her own legacy character with Kamala.
It's because
Exactly.
she's the best.
It's like very.
The
Oh.
legacy character has a legacy character.
That's how powerful.
Well, I
she
mean,
is.
look at. I mean,
Look at
Okay.
the flashes.
Yeah, all four of them.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Robins, the whole lot of Robins.
Speaking of the Flashes, Barry's probably my favorite DC legacy character, but
My
Marvel.
favorite's easily.
Mine
Marvel,
too.
yeah, my favorite Marvel legacy character. I'm giving that to Jane Foster.
Ooh.
Okay, Jane Foster's an incredible Thor.
Mm-hmm.
can she please? I know
Controversial-
she's gonna be
Controversial, but you're right.
I know
You're
she's
right.
gonna be Valkyrie again, but could she be
Thor again.
I miss her as Thor.
She just be Thor forever. We can have
Can we
Thors.
find a way to
Well,
get
just-
Mjolnir back so we can have her as Thor again?
Or they could just do
Please.
what they did
Well,
with Beta Ray Bill and make him his own hammer. And
Yeah.
Just make a fucking new one.
Better
Exactly.
Ray
Okay.
Jane.
The Beta Ray
Thor
is already
Beta
part
Ray
of the
Jane.
name.
No, Jaina Ray Bill.
That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
His name's Beta Ray
Delta Ray
Bill,
Jane.
and then he added.
Wasn't this
Flash.
supposed to be a lightning
How
round?
about how about
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Jane Foster?
yeah.
Jane Foster.
Also cast
Jane
Lang.
Foster Thor is good.
I'm conflicted because I want to keep going, but I'm also like thoroughly enjoying this.
Legacy characters. We should have a legacy characters episode because they're
We
just
should.
all so great and they're amazing.
It'll go on the list. It'll go on the list
And
because we could talk about them forever.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think of a bad one.
also, I know
I
that
want to
it's
talk
because-
about Jane forever, so.
Next question.
Yeah.
Next
Save
question.
it. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna just do one more. Here's one that this is just for you guys because I actually forgot to give this question to the last group. So it's actually from Let's Talk Cyclops.
What's
It was
Chris.
directed
What's
at you, Kate.
Hey,
going
Chris.
on?
Oh, was this the
Yeah.
one directed
It's
at
cutting. Sorry.
Yeah, it was from you, and it was if you could have 3 villains face your favorite character, who would they be?
Oh,
Ooh. Let's see. I would choose. Ooh, this is a tough one. I guess I'd go with. I'd like to see Ben put the smackdown on Doc Ock.
Ooh! I like that.
I'd like to see him face. I would also like to see him beat up Xavier.
yeah.
Just everyone has to choose Xavier for one of their villains.
Because I think the idea of Ben's sheer willpower managing to overcome one of the most powerful psychics on Earth would be a really fun story. And I would like to see Ben beat up the Red Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes!
So that's my 3: Doc Ock, Xavier, and Red Skull.
Oh
Wow,
my
all of those are
god.
bald.
I just
What-
said Red Skull
what-
killed Peter Parker's parents.
Kind of.
It's always
Peter
something I
Parker's
forget.
Yeah, it's a weird choice, but not an indefensible one.
Honestly,
No.
like the history of Richard and Mary is really cool.
I enjoy it.
They teamed up with Wolverine. It perhaps makes Peter less unique. His parents didn't just die; they were super agents. They made Wolverine and all.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, but they're.
I do
Cool,
like Teresa.
I like Peter.
She seems
Yeah.
really cool. I just
We
found out
stand
about her.
Teresa.
I just found out about her recently, and she seems really cool.
So how long till she gets bitten by some sort of spider?
How long until she becomes the next Spider-Woman?
We do not need
We
more.
are family.
No, she gets bitten by some other bug
Who?
or insect. She becomes like Mosquito Woman.
I'm not gonna answer this question because every Batman villain is in the Arkham games. There's
Yeah,
not a
that's
single
fair.
one that I can't
What
think
about some
of.
non-Bat villains? Are there any Flash or Superman villains you'd like to see him fight?
No, because Batman just has his perfect. All of Batman's villains fit with Batman. It doesn't really.
Or are there any heroes you'd like to see fight the Arkham villains?
Okay, that's Kind of like to see how Spider-Man would handle things.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But Peter would not stand for the Riddler trophies. He would just
No.
smack the smugness right off of Negaba's
Especially
face.
in Arkham Knight, because when
Yeah.
you save Catwoman, Riddler just goes down into a hole and waits for you to collect all the Riddler trophies to fight him. Spider-Man would just leave him there. He'd stay down in that hole.
Or he would just rip the floor off and just go right after him.
Or just
I
fill it
don't
with
know
web
why Batman
fluid.
doesn't do that with everything he has attached to the Batmobile, with especially a power winch.
Yeah. I mean, normal cars can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Peter would rip that Riddler robot to shreds, honestly.
Yeah.
I want to see them, since they're older, and this is the Young Avengers as a whole. I would really like to see them fight King again, but not as but like a younger King, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
like, if they're all like in their 20s, I want to see them interact with Nate again. I think like they're in the
Isn't
middle
King
of
like centuries old?
well, he's from the it's a whole thing.
I don't remember at all.
Just like them being in the middle of the fight and like realizing like, wait, this is because of King. This is Nate. I just feel like that would be really interesting. I can't think of anyone else at the moment. They face Doom. Magneto's the team grandpa. Not really, but I mean he is the grandpa of two of the young members of the Young Avengers. They've dealt with Shocker.
Shocker.
Yeah, that's right before issue 1 that we get a little background of, or I think it was Shocker or it was Electro. It was one of the two. I mixed them up. They faced a lot of major villains. But the main one I definitely want to see them with again is King. I just think that would be really interesting.
I'd like to see Spider-Man slap the heck out of Hank Pym.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean, right now he's Ultron, so he's available for that. So there's
True.
that. I'd like to see Spidey face off against a DC superhero or villain. Maybe Brainiac. Brainiac would be real cool, or Aquaman. I've always loved the idea of Aquaman facing against a regular superhero, and Spider-Man just fits that perfectly.
That would be cool.
Or Pikachu, I don't know.
Spider-Man versus Pikachu.
These aren't villains, Philip. But
I don't mind.
Pikachu is kind of Ash's nemesis.
Pikachu
Was
is a bad person.
Only in like episode
Pokemon.
1.
With great
I mean, Pikachu zaps him every time though.
Imagine superheroes in Smash Bros.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Imagine superheroes in Mortal Kombat.
That's just Marvel versus Capcom, but more violent.
But more violent. I've heard
No,
that
that's just DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat.
Ew.
I've heard that the guys from Mortal Kombat and Injustice are making Marvel games, so it would be really cool to see all the moves with Marvel characters.
What if we could get a DC versus Marvel fighting?
That would be kick-ass.
Like
And then,
game-wise,
Capcom-
or
down.
I mean,
Game-wise.
Lego has the
Comic-wise.
rights to both, so I mean, they could make a Marvel versus DC game.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
but
Lego has
that would be pretty kick-ass though.
that'd be really cool.
Lego
next
games are
Lego.
underrated.
Oh, kick-ass.
So
Lego games are
fucking good.
amazing.
They should make a Lego amalgam game.
Oh my. Good.
Lego
that would be
Justice
amazing.
League versus Avengers.
So good.
Lego kick-ass.
Lego Watchmen.
Just
Lego
Lego
The Boys.
Invincible.
It's the most inappropriate properties possible for Lego to have.
What if Lego made Lego Funko Pops?
They do.
Well,
They're called
that's-
brickheads.
Why?
No, but just pure Funko Pops, like the actual structure.
We're getting off
giant
track.
Funko Pops made out of
I-
Lego.
I think that's part of the anti-life equation. Lego Funko Pops.
They basically do.
It takes away all free will.
It's just a small part, but it is a part.
Brickheads are basically exactly Funko Pop, but they're made out of Lego.
Yeah, but they're
I
so
mean-
much smaller.
They're the same
Mhm.
size as Funko Pops.
A little bit. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Moving on.
To kind of
Teenagers
drag things back
revenge.
on
I
track.
didn't mean to get into a heated
discussion about Lego brickheads.
But to kind
Hey,
of
Vince, don't
drag
take that
things
one
back
out.
on track. Two villains
Like,
I just want to see Peter smack the smugness off of are Captain Cold and the Riddler.
Ooh, Riddler.
Very good.
And honestly, like for my third villain, I'm going with the leader because I love villains that can challenge Peter's intelligence.
Nice choice.
Okay.
I'd honestly love to
Nice.
see Mr. Fantastic face off against the Riddler.
Or
That'd be a fast
Sinestro
fight.
against
Oh my god.
Sinestro
Yes.
against Spider-Man with her fears and all his insecurities. It would really kick ass.
That'd be awesome.
So Cassandra.
I want to see the Lumberjanes fight some Spider-Man villains. Specifically, I'd like
Is
to see...
one of them the Shocker?
No, I don't think the Shocker would be a great
Faces
fit.
again-
I think the Lizard and Mysterio would be right up their alley as far as
It's true.
enemies.
Dude, how about Lumberjanes against Dan Slott?
Oh god.
The Lumberjanes invade the real world and storm the Marvel offices.
Except the Lumberjanes exist in the DC universe, so that would never happen.
Multiverse.
So they
the Dan
storm the
Slott
DC
universe.
offices.
They're like, has Dan Slott written for DC?
I don't
I
think
guess.
so.
I know of.
Well, I think Archie exists in both universes, so I think you're good.
Archie exists in both universes?
Well, okay, so Archie crossed over with the Punisher, then in that
Really?
very... Yes,
He did, yep.
Yeah,
but then in that same issue, he says he's going to Gotham,
okay.
and that issue was canon until Flashpoint. So
Which,
Punisher
fucking
meeting
Flashpoint
Archie
ruins
is
everything.
only canon for DC.
That's so meta.
that's... Archie's
Alright.
also met the Predator, so that gets that in there. Although I guess Batman has also met the Predator.
Who hasn't met the Predator?
I haven't met the Predator. I'd like
I
to
mean,
someday.
I hope we don't meet the Predator because we would all die.
I would
I
kick
met the Predator.
Predator's
He was
ass.
at my school.
Wait, have the
Batman?
Predators fought the Transformers?
Probably. Batman
so the-
beat up the Predator with a baseball bat, so I think I could take him.
Just grabs the
Any-
bat and it just happens
Listen,
to have the
anything
Lumberjanes
Batman
on it.
can do, I can do better.
Lumberjanes team up with Hellboy.
That would be incredible. That's total. Teaming up with
The
friendly
Lumberjanes formed the
monsters-
Avengers.
Teaming up
The
with
Avengers
friendly
wish.
monsters is exactly their MO.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if you can describe Hellboy as friendly.
He's a good guy. That's
But-
all that matters.
Yeah, but he's
But
not
how
good
friendly
guy.
is he exactly? Because he's kind of a jerk.
He has friends.
He has friends.
Hellboy's a dick.
So I have friends and I'm kind of a jerk.
I want to see Hellboy and Ben meet.
That'd be good.
That'd be
They
interesting.
can have Rocky high fives.
I would. Or they can do a Predator.
Just
handshake.
they bond over having rock hands.
I can
Exactly.
do a Predator click.
They can do the one handshake from the Predator, you know?
Yeah. That just makes sparks fly, literally.
Oh, whoa.
Oh
That was
god.
convincing. I thought there was a...
A frog.
No, I was trying to
platypus.
think of the name for the Predators. Shit, what are they called?
Molesters?
No.
No. That caught me off guard.
It's like Yautja, I think is what they're called.
I think that's right, yeah.
We all know
you're
that their
right.
real name is non-green friendly organisms.
Oh,
Bit of a mouthful.
gross.
Ow.
I'm gonna cut you guys off.
Okay.
But thank
Well,
you for your time.
Thanks
This
for
has
having
been
us.
fun. I
This was
Thanks
get
for
amazing.
having
I
me
had
on,
fun.
Vlog. It was really good. I
Yeah.
just
Catch you next time,
imagine.
true believers.
That
Yeah.
got way out of
Yeah.
hand.
A little bit.
Isn't
No,
is it really
That's part of
any
the
fun
fun.
if it doesn't get out
I
of
hope you
hand?
leave some of that in. I hope you leave
No.
some of the
We
off the
just
rails
stayed on
stuff in.
topic. We just talked
This is
about
gonna
Spider-Man
be
kicking the crap out of Pikachu.
We talked about things not being okay for green.
That's you're just talking about Electro. Electro is just a humanoid Pikachu.
No, he's not.
No.
Electro is human Pikachu. That's the thing now.
Pikachu would not rob
Oh
banks.
god. I'm gonna stop.
Don't
Wouldn't
you know? I'm
Okay.
Pikachu.
That depends on which
Bye,
Pikachu
No,
we're
he's
talking
a
everyone.
about.
detective.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Until next time.
Okay.
Don't screw this for us.
Wait, why is Philip back?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, I can hear you. I can hear you
I can
well.
hear you. Yeah,
But you
you're
sound
back.
We
way
can hear you
better
well,
now.
Phil.
Yay, we can hear you.
Yay!
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
It was all part of God's plan.